Okay, it's exactly 6:05. So good evening, everybody. And as Alan has been saying, welcome to another ProGigFinder webinar. We hope that you guys are just as excited as we are for this webinar, specifically if more so if you're interested in, branching into the freelance space or specifically into the gig economy. Just to give you some background on the webinar. So as a company, we are ProGigFinder, and we have a dedicated platform that basically connects talent to meaningful work opportunity. So people with skills to meaningful job opportunity. And we believe that, as a company, it's our corporate social responsibility. So in addition to providing this platform, provide a space where, freelancers can learn, from other, more established freelancers. They can access trainings, advice sessions like this one to grow in the space. Today we'll be here for about an hour, and on the agenda we have three main things. So firstly, we're going to introduce you to our platform, to ProGigFinder. Then you're going to hear from our guest speaker, who we'll introduce a little later on. And then we are going to jump into, I guess, what is arguably the most important part of the session, because then you guys get to, ask our guest speaker as well as, the ProGigFinder staff questions. We get to exchange, we get to discuss, we get to learn from each other. So as not to waste any more time, since we only have an hour, we can go ahead and jump right into the demo of the platform. And again, just to reiterate so that like when you go into seeing the demo, you have like a small idea or like of what it is. So basically, again, ProGigFinder is a two-sided work marketplace that, as I said before, connects talent to meaningful job opportunities. So basically, we connect people who need something done. So people who have a problem. So for example, those who need something to do, those people who need work, those people who are problem solvers. So we are a two-sided marketplace that focuses on building those opportunity connections. So Alan, you can go ahead, you can share your screen and you can give us a demo, then we'll come back and continue.
Thank you very much, Brittany. I'll jump right into the demo. So just like Brittany mentioned, ProGigFinder is a two-sided marketplace where we are joining and connecting people who are looking for something to do to people who have something to do. Just like you see here, if you have something to do, you connect you to someone to do it, they get done with it, and you get the solution that you need. And this is ProGigFinder, the future of work. Why ProGigFinder? This is a platform that we have designed to connect everyone, both in the blue collar space and in the white collar space. So this means if you're a freelancer and you offer services like graphic designing, technician, computer skills, and everything, ProGigFinder is the right platform for you. But also, if you're a person within the blue collar space and you do things like plumbing, electrician, any other thing, let's say you are a person who washes clothes and all that, ProGigFinder is also the right space for you. I've just used this as examples, but there are other things that can be done through ProGigFinder. And today I'll be sharing with you the platform. This is our platform, ProGigFinder, and we have different sections. So once you come to the platform, just so you know, the platform is available on the web and also on mobile. And we hope by the end of next week, we shall also be available on iOS. So currently, ProGigFinder is available on Android Play Store, and you can download it on Android Play Store. So if you come as a person, when you visit ProGigFinder, you come to the section for sign up, and there are two options where you can sign up as a person looking for work or as a person looking to hire. So I would advise, if you aren't like a company or not specifically going to be hiring people, you can still sign up as a person looking for work. But even when you sign up as a person looking for work, you see, it's a dual opportunity access. You can create your profile and you'll still be able to view traditional jobs and apply for them be still able to view gigs and still apply for the gigs. So don't think that once you create like a looking for work account, you will only be like looking for work without posting work. So for the gigs, everyone can post gigs, whether you're looking for work or whether you're providing work. So this is the better. So with the future of work, once you've created your account, and now we assume that you've created your account, you will arrive on this multi-use dashboard. And under here, there are different sections. So you can browse jobs. These are traditional jobs like different companies. You can apply for these jobs. You can also browse gigs. These are gigs whereby someone wants something done for them in a short while. And most of these gigs are usually like verified gigs. We are not here to scam people. And also there is a section for the freelancers. And the freelancers are people like you, me, and everyone who will be providing their services on the platform. And another feature called Center AI that I'll jump into um, a bit later. But then once you come to this section of gigs, let's assume you want to look for someone to do for you a weekend gig because, for example, you see someone wanted someone to design their logo, washing their laundry, doing for them a YouTube thumbnail and everything. So how do you post a gig? You come here. Remember I said everyone can post a gig. So whether you are signed up as a person who provides opportunity or as a person who's looking for opportunity. It's just very easy. Come to the form, give it a title. What do you want to be done? The category of the thing that needs to be done. A lot of services. Then select if it's a one-time gig or a recurring gig. For example, some companies or individuals want something to get like a person to do something like weekly. So you can also put if it's a recurring gig. And then the description, very important because the person needs to know what they'll be doing, the requirements and the location, and then the country, and then the area where the gig will be done, the amount that will be charged for the person to do the gig. And then after all this, you just post a gig. So once you post a gig, it appears under these gigs. And from here, people will be applying for the gig. And once they apply for the gig, you receive the applications and you select the person that you want to do the gig. And within the platform, you can also talk to the person, get to understand or maybe give them location and all these details that are required. And once they do the gig, um, before even doing the gig, one important thing to mention is posting the gig is free for everyone, for you, for me, for anyone. We never charge you until you get the person to do the gig for you. It's only when you've selected a freelancer to do the gig or a person to do the gig that we charge you. And once we charge this amount, we don't pay the freelancer immediately. We first hold this amount in escrow until the person is done with the work to your satisfaction. And once they approve that the work is done on their end, you also receive a message that the work is done. And from there, the people can get, like, you release the amount and the amount goes to their account. So as a freelancer, once you create your account, it's very important to come and create your freelancer profile. And with the freelancer profile, this means on ProGigFinder, we have different freelancers doing different things. And the beauty about this is because you are like open to a diverse audience of people around the world seeing your profile, and these people can reach out to you. So as a freelancer, immediately you create an account with ProGigFinder, we encourage you and advise you to create your freelancer profile. Also, on the other hand, this freelancer profile is the same profile that is seen when you apply for gigs. So once you sign up for ProGigFinder, do not forget to create your freelancer profile. In case you created your account before with us and you don't know how to create a freelancer profile, or you forgot to create your freelancer profile, you can always come here under freelancer profile and continue with the setting up your freelancer profile that people will view when they go under freelancer profile. So to continue with this, once you've posted a gig, there are sometimes when you are in a situation, for example, you're traveling from here to Kabale and you don't know, your car breaks down, but you don't know how much can I put for such a gig. And here, this is where the feature I told you about called Center AI comes in. So Center AI is an artificial intelligence agent within our platform designed by ProGigFinder that helps you to get instant research-backed pricing recommendation for your services based on market data across Africa. So once you come to Center AI, so for example, you're going to Kabale and you didn't know how much you should put for a gig, let's say for a car, you can come and talk to Center AI and tell it that, oh, I was going to Kabale, my car broke down, and this is what happened. And then talk to Center AI. Center AI will be able to give you a recommendation. We've had demos of Center AI. If you go to our previous webinars, you can see demos about Center AI. But to save time and not keep us here further, I would advise you to go to ProGigFinder, check out the platform. If you haven't downloaded the Android app, it's already available on Google Play Store. You can download the app and check it out. And also, post gigs, let someone do it for you. Do not think that the gigs that need to be posted are gigs that are supposed to be of like high amounts. No, you can post gigs even as low as 5,000, as long as it can earn a living for someone. We at ProGigFinder, our goal is to connect everyone to opportunity and make sure everyone is earning in their own way. So this is the future of work, and the reason we call it the future of work, everyone on ProGigFinder is a boss, and everyone on ProGigFinder can have something to do. Thank you very much for the audience. Back to you, Brittany.
Okay, thank you so much, Alan. Hold on, let me send something in the chat. Okay, I think we all have a better understanding of the capabilities of the platform. But before we close the demo section, I just sent something in the chat, and I just want to say that at Project Finder, we believe in co-creation. And what I mean by this is that we like to allow our users, or for example, potential users, to help us, co-create the platform or tailor the platform to meet their specific needs so that it can be valuable for each person. I just sent a survey in the chat. It is specifically looking at gig postings. So if you'd like to help us tailor the gig postings a little bit better and you'd like to share your feedback, maybe after you've gone to the website to check out ProGigFinder a little bit better, please feel free to go ahead and fill out the survey and give us your feedback. So now that we have completed the demo, I hope that you hold some of the features and capabilities in your mind so that as or very special guest speaker, gives us advice, maybe you can reflect on, how you can, utilize your skills on the platform itself. So, as I said before, we have a very special guest speaker. And you guys may have seen on the flyer, it's Miss Grace Rita. She is a virtual assistant with over 5 years of experience in the remote workspace. She specializes in administrative support, digital marketing, and human resource. She has worked with 15 plus clients across Africa, Europe, North America, Asia, and the Middle East, helping businesses streamline operations and achieve results. Remote work transformed her life, expanding her horizons and boosting her confidence and self belief. And over time, she noticed that there was a knowledge gap in the African remote work community where many are misinformed or struggle to find the right guidance. And to bridge this gap, Grace created the Remote Work Blueprint. And this is a platform where she shares her experiences, practical insights, and strategies that have worked for her. She is passionate about empowering others to succeed in the remote work world and guiding them to reach their full potential. She will be focusing on the topic skills inventory for freelancers, identify, package, and profit from your skills. She will help us to take inventory of our skills, maybe identify the ones that set us apart, and then transform them into real income streams on ProGigFinder. And going into this presentation, I just want to say that the fact is that we all have skills. Even though we might think they're small and invaluable, they are very valuable to somebody else. They can be very, 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 very valuable to somebody else. So I want you to take this opportunity to think about which skills you can utilize on ProGigFinder and how you can you know, because on ProGigFinder, we help you visualize, like bring visibility to your skills. So while Grace is presenting, think about the skills that you have. Think about which skills you want to bring visibility to for potential clients, and then think about how we can help you transform these into potential streams of income. So Grace, you can go ahead and present. We're super excited to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Can my screen be seen?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody that has come to this webinar. We do not take it lightly or for granted. And I'm sure that you are going to gain a ton of knowledge and wisdom out of this. Like Brittany has shared, my name is Grace Rita, and I am a remote worker, specifically doing virtual assistance. And in virtual assistance, I specifically offer admin, digital marketing, and HR services to clients across the globe. And right now, I'm working with clients in Africa, clients in the UK, and in the USA. Right? Without wasting so much time, let me go right into my presentation. So, specifically today, I'll be speaking about skills inventory for freelancers. This can be for you who is already trying to freelance, and this can be for you who does not even know what freelancing is, and you're just trying to find your way. Wow. Okay, what is freelancing? For my friends that don't know what freelancing is, it basically means working by yourself. And here you're offering skills or services to clients on a project or contract basis. That means you're not a full-time employee. And if you're remote working like myself, you're basically seated in the comfort of your home or wherever you're located, and you're offering all your skills and services to these people wherever they are, right? And when I talk about freelancing, I talk about problem solving. Or when you think about freelancing, think about problem solving. Because what freelancing is solving other people's problems. Like Alan has mentioned what the platform offers. If somebody has a problem, they can go to the platform, put the problem, and then have somebody else come and solve it for them. If you need a logo done, if you need a thumbnail like you shared, those are problems. And as a freelancer, this is how you make your money, right? And I threw in some stats. Statistically, right now, there's about 10.1% of world's freelancers that are in Africa. So as you can see, the percentage is still low, more so in the African market, but it is steadily growing high. In East Africa, the East African region is one of the fastest growing regions for online freelancing, and that's according to World Bank. And when I speak about Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, and South Africa, at the moment have the highest number of freelancers. I know Uganda, we are also coming up very soon with platforms like ProGigFinder. I know there's so many people that are going to get into the freelancing space. So now when I speak about a skills inventory is basically a process of listing and categorizing all your personal and professional abilities, right? This goes beyond what you write in your CV. This goes beyond the things you know, the soft things you know. This includes hard skills, which are the technical and job-specific knowledge. Soft skills, which are your personal capabilities like communication and problem solving, and transferable skills. I'll go ahead and explain those further as we go into the presentation. Again, when I speak about skills inventory, think about it as your toolbox that is going to help you make money in this freelancing world. And why is this important? Why do you need a skills inventory? Why do you need to identify these skills? Number one, so that you know exactly what you can offer as a person, so that you can help yourself stand out in a crowded market. Like I've shown you the statistics, the freelancing world is growing at a very fast rate. Excuse me. The other thing that you can do is to set a fair price. If you know the skills you have, it's easy to set prices for them. If you don't know the skills you have, you cannot price what you do not know, right? And also it can help you grow as a freelancer. If you know the skills you have now, it can help you know the other skills that you need to upskill in, or the knowledge gaps that you have that you need to fill, right? Okay, and when we speak about skills, there's three categories of skills. There's what we call the hard skills, there's what we call soft skills, and transferable skills. I've mentioned them, but here I'm going to go a bit deeper into what they mean. Hard skills, these are measurable and teachable abilities that are often acquired through training or education or courses. So these are things that you can be taught. So things like computer programming, graphic design, cybersecurity, data analysis, basically any hard skill. Think of anything that you can learn that is a hard skill. And when we speak about soft skills, these are usually I say soft skills cannot be taught, but some people have tried to challenge me on that. But they're basically your personality, they're your personal attributes and abilities which help you in your work. And they include communications, teamwork, problem solving, empathy, creativity, confidentiality, adaptability, so many of them. And I want to say something else about soft skills. More so in this freelance space, soft skills are what's going to set you apart as a freelancer. The hard skills are good and they're very nice to have, but like I've mentioned, they are teachable. Someone can easily go do a course in coding, and in 3-6 months they're an expert coder. But no one is going to teach you confidentiality. If you are a gossiper, if you blabber people's information, no one is going to teach you that. No one is going to teach you how to be empathetic. These are personal attributes that you have as a person, right? And when we speak about transferable skills, these are versatile abilities that are valuable across different jobs and industries. For example, the skills that you keep pulling or adapting or learning in the different spaces you're in. For example, if you are a prefect in school, you go to learn leadership, right? If you're managing projects, you learn things like time management. Right now, I'm learning public speaking from this webinar, right? So transferable skills, they are skills that you pick from all your life's experiences and the things that you keep doing. Number one, when you're identifying your skills as a freelancer, the first thing I tell people is to do a self-audit. More so in this remote work space, so many people come to me asking me, Grace, I want to start remote working. I want to start freelancing, but I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. I want to be a VA. Usually I ask people, why do you want to be a VA? Because I think that's the only way I can work remotely, which is so wrong. And usually when people come to me and they want to get into the freelance world, the first thing I ask them is, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? Right? What are you working on? Or what have you done in the past? If you're not working on anything at the moment, what have you done in the past? Have you had any jobs in the past? Have you had any experiences in the past? Because that is a very good way to start mapping up your skills, right? So in the self-audit, number one, reflect on past work and experiences. Think about the tasks you've completed and the challenges you've overcome. For example, if you were an accountant somewhere, if you are an administrator somewhere, if you're a project manager, whatever you are doing or were doing, that is a very good place to start mapping up your skills. And for all those experiences, ask yourself, what were you doing to be successful in that space? What were you doing to be successful as an administrator, as a project manager? What were you doing to be successful? The things you were doing, those are the skills you possess. For example, as a project manager, you're creating budgets, you're creating timelines for projects, you're tracking tasks, you're assigning tasks to people. Those are skills. Those are skills, and you can start writing them down. And you can write this down as you're listening to this. The other thing you can do when you're doing your personal self-audit is ask for feedback from peers and clients. You can ask your friends what you're good at. You can ask your mother, you can ask your father, because they know you better. You can ask the people you have worked with in the past, or the people you're working with currently. You can ask them for some feedback. Why I ask people to ask others for feedback is because so many of us overlook the things we're actually good at. Because we're trying to chase the things we think are selling, right? Because you saw a thing on the internet, you saw software development has a lot of money, you want to run after that skill. Yet you might not be that good at that. Also, as people, it's very common to be very unaware of the things that we are good at. But other people that are outside and looking into your life can easily tell you, by the grace, you're so good at this, you're so good at that. And those things that they mention to you are the skills that you possess, right? To get best feedback from people, you can ask people, can you give me an example of a time when I did this and this? Can you give me an example of something you think I do well? And please ask them to be more elaborate. Don't allow vague answers. You'll be so shocked that the feedback people give you, and there is a good place to start mapping up the skills that you have. The other thing you can do is ask yourself what comes easy, right? Like I said, so many of us want to run to the things we think are trendy or there is the most money, but those things are not going to come easy to us. For example, I don't like math. Even if I did math, even at A level, it does not come that easy to me. So skills like data science, like data analysis, will not come easy to me. When I was mapping up my skills and when I was starting as a freelancer, and how I landed on social media as a skill that I can package and offer to people for money, I found myself scrolling on social media all the time. I am always on social media, scrolling, watching videos, laughing, burning data, because I like it. It comes very easy for me to scroll on social media. And I know there's people that don't like social media at all. So if social media does not come easy to you, then social media maybe is not a very good place for you to look at. Look at other things that come easy to you, right? Look inward and recognize your natural talents and inclinations. Skills that come easy to you are often those that you're passionate about. And when you mix your passion with work, that's the best way you can make money. I keep telling people, more so in remote work, you need to love what you're doing. You need to have so much passion for it. Because while you're earning money from the comfort of your home, it sounds all rosy and nice, sometimes it gets tough. Sometimes the projects get huge. Sometimes the workplace gets tough. And it comes down to passion. Are you passionate about this? Sometimes I work crazy time zones. When you're working with people in the US and your friends are sleeping, it's a Friday today, your friends are going out and you're just clocking in. If you are not passionate about the thing you're doing, work is going to be so hard for you. It's going to be so hard for you. So it's very good to go to the things that come easy for you, the things you are passionate about, right? Then the other thing you can do to identify skills is to look at job descriptions for positions you're interested in, or review project requests from potential clients on platforms like ProGigFinder. Alan has showed us ProGigFinder here. You can go on such platforms and you look and be like, okay, this person was looking for such and such a service. What are the skills they listed? What things did they put down? Make a list of those things. Do I have this? Do I have that? Do I have this? The ones you have, well and good. The ones you don't have, go upskill. Go fill your knowledge gap. For example, if you look at a job description, let me say on LinkedIn, looking for website developer, and some of the skills that were listed included maybe things like Python, JavaScript, SQL, Excel. You can go down and write those down and be like, okay, I know Excel, I know JavaScript, I know Python, but I don't know this, I don't know this, right? Why I included this is, again, it will help you know what you know. It will help you identify what you know already and then what you don't know, so that you can create that room for growth. You can create that room for upskilling and filling in your knowledge gaps. All right, can you guys hear me? I just want to confirm that you're still with me.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you so much. After you have identified some of the skills, you can go ahead and carry out some market research. Go on the internet. The internet is your friend, friends. I tell so many people, use the internet. There is knowledge about everything and anything on the internet. If I wanted to learn how to fly a plane today, I'm sure there is a YouTube video somewhere about that thing. There's articles. If I wanted to learn whatever skill, there is knowledge about that on the internet. So make the internet your friend. Not, and let me just elaborate about the internet. Not here when you're starting, but even when you're already a freelancer and you're working, you're going to find that there's so many things that you don't know. Your clients will be asking for tools that you don't know. Will ask you, do you know how to use Asana? Do you know how to use this? And if you don't know, you can always just run to the internet, make a few minutes of research, and you know that thing. So go to the internet and do some research to find out what skills are in demand. While platforms like ProGigFinder and LinkedIn provide a direct look at what clients and companies are looking for, you need to make your own deep dive. So when you go to ProGigFinder, LinkedIn, wherever you've gone and found those job descriptions, deconstruct them, break them down, read them. I think I've talked about this again. Read them. And then you can say, I have this skill, I don't have this skill, I have this skill, I don't have this skill. The other thing you can do is ask people. You can ask people like Grace who are already freelancing and ask them what they're doing, what skills are in demand. You can share the skills you already have and ask them, what can I do? What a potential hire is looking for? What can I add? For example, if I'm a social media manager, but I can only run Instagram, a professional will be able to tell you, okay, I think you should also add TikTok. X is also on the rise, so maybe add Pinterest too, because these days for some reason people love Pinterest a lot. And then the other thing you can do is analyze industry reports and publications. Stay updated on the things that are happening in your field. For example, if you're in cybersecurity, follow professionals that are in cybersecurity. Read blogs about cybersecurity, read reports and publications. What that will do is give you an insight of what's happening in the market, because the trends keep changing, things keep changing every now and then. What I knew when I was starting freelancing is not what I know now. Things have evolved, and you have to keep evolving as the things evolve. Okay, I'm going to take a small pause and ask if anyone has a question so far. Only one person. I'm only going to allow one person because I have a Q&A at the end of this presentation. So you can just raise your hand. I've seen Rachel. All right, thank you. So if you have identified your skills, you have listed down the skills you've listed down the ones you need to grow in or get knowledge about, and maybe you've gotten your knowledge of upskilled, well and good. The next thing is to package your skills. To effectively package your skills, you need to combine a few related abilities into a single cohesive service. What I usually advise people to do is to combine a hard skill and a soft skill, because they always go hand in hand. You cannot just say, me, I'm a coder, and that's just it. That's your only skill. You don't have any soft skill. So you're a coder. Who does what? Again, remember, soft skills are the ones that will keep you hired. I'll keep mentioning this over and over again. So for most packages, you have to blend a technical hard skill. For example, Python coding is powerful, but when you power it with a soft skill like problem solving, now you become, that's a good package. SEO is a good hard skill, but when you pair it with a soft skill like creativity, you can create a service like data-driven content strategy. So instead of saying, I'm an SEO specialist, right? You can be like, my service is data-driven content strategy. I hope that's clear. Okay. The other thing when skills packaging is to niche down. And I want to give a disclaimer on this. When you're starting out as a freelancer, do not be under pressure to niche down. If you're sure about what you want, well and good, you can niche down. But if you're not sure, it's a good thing to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then along the way, you will start to see what you enjoy doing more. Again, like I said, you need to be doing the things that you enjoy to do. You need to do the things that you enjoy. Excuse me. So, when you're niching down, ask yourself questions like, who do I want to help? What problem can I solve for them? And what specific solution can I offer? Like I said, if you don't know, it's okay. You can sell your skills to everybody. You'll be shocked, people will buy. But if you're sure, this is it's a good time to niche. What niching down does is it also helps you know who your target client is or your target audience is and where to find them. For example, if you've identified that you want to help small e-commerce businesses, that means you will not be wasting time with, let me say, tech startups. You will not be wasting time in other industries that you're not interested in. That will save you so much time and energy. That means you're applying to specific jobs, you're specifically applying to the jobs you want, or even if it's individual basis, you know the people to reach out to. For example, on platforms like LinkedIn, there's so many people, so many companies, but if you know who exactly you want to help, you know exactly where to go. If you want to help nonprofits, you look for nonprofits specifically. If you want to help people in healthcare, you can look for companies in healthcare specifically. That means you're not throwing your applications all over the place to see what sticks. Again, disclaimer, when you're starting out, do not be under pressure to niche down. Also, another disclaimer on niches, don't die with a niche. You can start with a niche, and if you, along the way, discover that that's not what you want, you can always pivot. There's always room to pivot. You're not married to that specific niche. You don't have to die doing that. So give yourself room for growth, give yourself that grace to learn and grow. For example, when I was starting out, I know I mentioned that I do admin, but right now I don't actively do admin. Because as I've grown as a freelancer, I've discovered that I'm actually more interested in other services that are not just admin, and I've grown more into that. So don't be rigid and be like, oh, when I was starting out, I told people I am a software developer. Now I can't tell them that I'm a data analyst. Don't be rigid. It's okay. It's okay to grow and pivot. The other thing to ask yourself is, what problem can I solve? For example, if I'm a social media manager, that means the problem my clients have is running their social media. They don't have time to sit down and scroll on the platforms. They don't have time to sit down and engage or reply to comments or make posts or write captions or create the graphics. That's the problem they have. So that is where I come in as their freelancer, and that is how I'm going to eat their money. And then ask yourself what specific solution you offer. Again, go back to your specific skills that you offer. So you have identified your skills, you've done your research, you're now sure, you know what you're doing, you know what you want to do. You go ahead and craft your value proposition. I threw this in here because I wanted us to know how to present ourselves or how to introduce ourselves to people. Because I know so many people, you ask them, what do you do? And their answer is, I'm a freelancer. Or what do you do? I am a writer. What do you do? I am a videographer or an editor. Which is okay, but that is a title. It does not give any insight to who you are as a person or what you do. So, after you've identified your skills, you go ahead to create your value proposition. Again, what this will do is it will help you know exactly who knows your skills and where to find them, so that you're not running all over the place, because it is very tiring. It is very tiring. Today you're applying for jobs in writing. Tomorrow you're applying for jobs in software development. The other day you're applying for jobs in social media management. Another time you're applying for jobs in I don't know what. So it's good to have your own value proposition and know it. I always advise people to know their value proposition and also know it by head, actually. By head, because usually that is how you introduce yourself. When in a room of opportunity, you introduce yourself and you never know who needs your skills and who might buy your services. So when we think value proposition, think, who is your client? What do you do for them? And how do you do it? Right? Who is your client? Be as specific as possible, so that you avoid attracting the wrong kinds of people. What do you do for them? And when I say what do you do for them, don't just say I create websites. Let what you do for them be results driven. Like, what results do they get? So, for example, if you create websites, what happens after that? After you've created a website, what will the website do? Because there's so many people that have beautiful websites that don't do anything. And how do you do it? This is why you connect your skills to that outcome that I've just mentioned. For example, my value proposition, I could easily say I'm a virtual assistant, but what I would say when I'm asked what I am or what I do, I say something like, I help founders and executives. So you see where I've written who I help. Who do I help? Founders and executives. To do what? To save 15 plus hours a week. And how do I do that? By taking the mundane admin and social media tasks off their hands. So, for example, if you are a writer, your value proposition, instead of saying, I'm a writer, your value proposition can be something like, I help busy entrepreneurs build brand authority by creating lead pulling blogs and articles. And I'm just getting this off here. You get. So even when you're introducing yourself to someone, even when you are, let me say, cold pitching in a DM somewhere, you don't just say, hi, my name is Alan and I'm a writer. Someone will read your message and they'll be like, okay, Alan, thanks. But if you go in there and you're like, hi, my name is Alan, and I help busy entrepreneurs build brand authority by creating beautiful blogs and articles. That makes much more sense, I think, in my opinion, than just saying, hi, I'm a writer. Hi, I am so and so. Now, you have identified your skills, you know the value you bring. We go to package pricing. And this is where so many of us get problems. So many people don't know how to price. And I'm going to give my honest advice, more so as a freelancer when you're starting. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Just offer a price. Again, you're not married to this price. At the end of the day, you can always tweak it and change it to fit what you feel is right. In freelancing, and as well, you can see on the ProGigFinder platform, there's so many ways that people price. Some people price hourly, some people price per project, some people price per value. If you price hourly, that means you're going to be paid for the specific time you work, that specific amount. So if I say I'm going to be working for $15 an hour, that means if I work for 4 hours, I'll be paid my $60. And then there's project-based pricing. That's where, for example, a client has a project. The project is, website design. And then you can be like, for me, this is how much I charge per website. For example, I charge $1,000 per website, and that's just it. For value-based, this is based on how the client gains. For example, there's a time I was working with a client on TikTok, and I was managing their TikTok shop, and how I was pricing that job was value-based. For all the conversions they were making and the sales were making, I had a percentage of that. So if you're not charging hourly or by project, you can charge by value. So you can tell a client, I'm going to create a website, but for every lead conversion you get, I get this specific percentage. I hope I'm clear. Again, when you're pricing, most so as a beginner, try to price low. Don't over aim. And I'm not saying this so that you sell yourself short, but it's a good place to start, more so when you're trying to attract clients. Because high prices might chase them away. And remember, you're just starting. As you go, you can always increase these prices. Okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about, they're telling me that my time is done, is portfolio building. After identifying your skills, you've mapped them out, you've created your packages, you've priced your packages, then go ahead and build your portfolio. If you have worked already and have work examples, please build a portfolio. A portfolio is different from a resume. So many of us confuse what a resume is and what a portfolio is. A resume is different from a portfolio. A portfolio usually even has visual examples of your work, of your projects that you've done. And sometimes you have to include even the results that you got when you're doing these projects. You can include testimonials. For example, if a client gave you a good comment, if the client gave you good feedback, you can take a screenshot of that and include it in your portfolio, because that shows a prospect client, number one, the type of work you can do, and then how other people have experienced your work. If you don't have any experience, it is still okay. You can do more projects for yourself. For example, you've learned website development, but you do not have a client yet to develop a website for. Give yourself a project and create a hypothetical website and put it somewhere, because one day you'll be asking this person, hey, I want to create a website for you, and the first thing they'll ask you is, can I look at a website you've created? And if you have nothing to show, trust me, they'll move on to the next best person. You can also do personal work for yourself. Right now, I manage people's LinkedIn pages, but how I started was by managing my own LinkedIn and then using those results and those examples as in my portfolio, right? I've talked about testimonials. Sorry, I'm trying to manage time. I've talked about testimonials. Reach out to people you have worked with. Ask them to say, to write something about you that you can include in your portfolio. Some people can actually go ahead and create a whole video. If they can do a video, well and good, speaking on your behalf. If they can't, they can write something that you can include. If you're on LinkedIn, you can always send them a message. LinkedIn has a way you can request a recommendation from somewhere, and then they send it to you, and you can screenshot it and use it in all the other places that you have a portfolio in. All right, so you have identified the skills you have. How are you communicating them? So many of us know the skills we have, but we do not know how to communicate them. That is how we have profiles that just have your name and then graphic designer somewhere. Again, I've talked about this when I was talking about value proposition. Talk about who you help, what you do, and how you do it, instead of just writing, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a social media manager, I'm a virtual assistant. Be specific and give it some meat. Also, avoid vague titles like freelancer, consultant, specialist, pro. They're a bit fluffy. So go straight to the point. I support so and so with this and this by doing this and this. That will sell you much easily. So if someone is looking for somebody to help them with the data analysis, they can easily see that in your headline or in your bio, and they know that you are the person to reach out to, instead of them coming and they see freelancer or data consultant. Okay, on platforms like ProGig, I've talked about this. Your profile title and description are your pitch, so use them wisely. Use them to clearly state your niche and specific services that you offer. For example, your title could be SEO optimized blog writer for SaaS companies. Let me get straight to my parting shots, and then we'll have some few questions. Number one, your skills are your currency. The skills you have are what's going to earn you money. Package your skills into client solutions. Hard skills get you hired, but it's your soft skills that will keep you there. It's very easy to get hired, by the way. I used to think it's very hard, but it's very easy to get hired. But also it's very easy to get fired at a job if you do not have soft skills. If you're not communicating well, if you're not adapting to the environment well, if you don't have teamwork, that's what will get you fired. So hard skills get you hired, but soft skills will keep you there. Charge for value and not hours. Make sure you're providing value to your clients. In whatever you are doing, make sure you are providing value. Actually, provide more than you promise. Under promise and over deliver, but don't over promise and then under deliver, right? Visibility creates opportunities. After you've identified your skills, don't just sit at home. Get yourself visible. Get on the internet. Create profiles in places like LinkedIn, on ProGigFinder, Upwork, Fiverr. There's so many platforms right now that you can join and get yourself some visibility. Be very loud about what you do, guys. Be very loud. Speak about it. Even in in-person engagements. If you meet someone, don't let them leave without them knowing what you do. Don't just tell them, hi, I'm Grace. Say I'm Grace, and then say something else that you do. You'll be so shocked. One of my virtual assistant roles, one of the first virtual assistant roles I got was from a chat group. And it's because one day I just went to my chat group, I wrote what I do, and somebody in my chat reached out and they gave me the job. So be very, very loud about what you do. Don't just sit down. So many people are talented, but they don't have work because no one knows you. And other people are there mediocre, they're not maybe the best, but they're getting the projects because they're very loud, right? The other thing is keep learning because the market changes fast. Like I said, the trends keep changing, that tools keep coming. Now we have AI. So you have to be on a continuous journey of learning. If you've learned a skill today, don't stop there. Learn something else that you can add. If you're in for example, if you're in machine languages, if you know one language, don't just stick to that. Go learn the other languages. If you're in project management, don't learn one project management tool, Asana. Go learn the other tools like Trello, like Notion, Monday. Learn everything that you can learn. Again, utilize the internet. It's your best friend when it comes to freelancing. Okay, specialization makes you stand out. This is for the people that have now walked the journey and at least now you're sure of exactly what you want and where you want to go. Specialize. Never underprice or overprice. Don't skip contracts. And this is very important. When you get that gig, make sure you have a contract. Make sure you have a contract. Because people might not pay you and run away with your money and you have nowhere to start. So make sure you have contracts that you make people sign. Also, review your skills inventory often. I know I've talked about skills inventory, but it will keep changing as you go. It will keep changing as the markets change, as the trends change, as your interests change, as you grow as a professional. You'll identify more skills that you have. You'll drop some skills that most of the hard skills, you drop some things. So always review it every now and then and ask yourself, what do I drop? What do I add? How do I grow? All right. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sorry if I've been speaking very, very fast. This is your time now to ask me some questions and then we can close.
Thank you so much, Grace, for your presentation. You really have been dropping some gems. I had to be here taking some notes. I even have some points that I wanted to reiterate, but we are like over time. Thank you guys for your understanding and for staying, even though we're a bit over time. But we will jump into our question and answer segment now. So if you have questions for either Alan about ProGigFinder or for Grace, please feel free to share. There are, I think, 2 or 3 questions in the chat, so I'll answer those first, and then Rachel, I'll take you because I see that your hand is up. So somebody asked, Brenda asked, and I think this is more for Alan, how do you and through what platform do you receive payment for your offered skills?
Thank you, Brittany. So for our platform ProGigFinder, once you do a gig, we have a wallet, and this is on the web, and this is in the mobile. So on the wallet, you receive the amount, and this amount after doing the gig will be in your wallet. You can withdraw this amount directly to your mobile money, Airtel, MTN, and then very soon we shall be integrating other payment gateways like directly to your bank and also using PayPal. But at the moment, you can withdraw the funds directly to your mobile money. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if Grace, if you want to add to that, or I think Joanne asked, and I think this is directly addressed to you, Grace. Is the value proposition part of your introduction? Won't it be too long, or is the value proposition just written on my profile?
It is for both, and I don't think it's so long. Also, try not to keep it so long. Like I've shared my value proposition, it's not that long. I know it by head. I hope founders and executives save 15 plus hours of their time by taking mundane tasks off their hands. It can be in your profile, it can be in your headlines, in the different bios that you have on the different platforms.
Perfect. And Grace, somebody asked if they could like receive your phone contact or your email to ask you for guidance. So if you're comfortable with that, you can go ahead and share in the chat or give it to me and I'll send it specifically to the person.
No, that's okay. Let me share my LinkedIn.
Okay.
Let me share my LinkedIn profile in the chat and then someone can reach out on LinkedIn. Like I said, I also have a community called the Remote Work Blueprint. We've grown to over 300 remote workers right now, specifically for remote workers. So if you're not a remote worker, I don't know if it will be helpful, but for remote workers, it will be very helpful. I share knowledge, I share ideas, hacks, opportunities that I come across. So if you want to join that, you can still let me know. Let me just share my links in the chat.
Okay, perfect. And then Rachel, you can go ahead and then I'll take Elizabeth. I'll read Elizabeth's question after.
Thank you very much. My name is Rachel Yamahe. I'm a virtual assistant and I do admin support on social media for executives and entrepreneurs. And now my question is to Grace. First, I appreciate you for your presentation. It was awesome. My question is about niching down. As a newbie, at what point do you niche down? Is there like a specific time frame that you should give your business or your skill set knowledge to niche down, or is it whenever you feel you can? Because I'm thinking, what if you like go on with this whole general thing? You're generalizing. Like for how long do you generalize before you get to niche down?
Okay, number one, it's not a one size fits all. Like I said, there's people that already know what they want from the get-go. There's people that be like, I was born to do this. I've always known that this is what I want, and they can easily niche down even before they do any work. Now, for the people that want to niche down in the long run, I really cannot put a time frame to it because it involves a lot of things. For example, if I give you a response of 1 year, what if you've not done any substantial work in that 1 year that can give you the exact backing or foundation to say, okay, this is what I want? I think it should be out of your own preference and how you feel. Be like, okay, I've done this, but I think I prefer this. There's no specific time frame. Feel free to niche down anytime. Feel free to change niches also anytime. But also don't be jumping from niche to niche every month. That will be very hard and confusing, more so when you have an online platform where you're showing up. I hope that answers your question, Rachel.
Yes, please. Thank you very much, Grace.
Okay, perfect. And then there's another question for you, Grace, in the chat. It says, can someone be an SMM without being active on their socials, without following, asking for introverts and camera shy people? If it's a must, you can advise on what they can niche down to.
For social media managers, number one, you have to be active on your socials. More so if you've not worked with a client before. It's very easy to convince someone that you can run their social media if your own social media is doing well. Let me give you an example. I wanted to start TikTok management, but I was not on TikTok. Like, okay, I would go and scroll. Like I said, I enjoy scrolling, but I never had any content of my own. And that is always usually hard to prove to another person that, hey, I can run your social media. How can you prove to me that you can run my social media if your own social media is not that good, right? But you've mentioned that you're asking for introverts and camera shy people. I understand. And please note, not every content has to be front facing. You can create content that's not front facing. Remember, the whole point of this is to show your social media capabilities, your management capabilities. It's to show someone that you can run a page, or what you can do if you do not want to show up by yourself. You can go ask somebody else to run their social media pro bono. Can be maybe, for example, if you go to a church and they have a church social media, you can ask to run that social media, and then you can use that as your example. Or you can start, there's pages that are graphic pages that are not front facing, the faceless accounts actually. It's a thing now. So you don't have to be front facing if you're camera shy.
And then Alan, somebody's asking if you can share the recording of this meeting. Unfortunately, missed the beginning. The great thing is that, okay, you responded. Yes,
Yeah.
so in a few days, the entire recording will be on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook. So you don't have to worry, we'll provide that for you. Does anybody else have a question? If not, I have a question for Alan. Okay, this is a question for Grace. So you mentioned that we have to be loud about our abilities. Does it mean that I have to tell everyone I meet about the work I am doing?
Yes, please, if it's possible, yes. Yes, you will be very shocked. You will meet your potential clients in the most random places. If you are in a wedding meeting somewhere and I'm not saying go telling telling everyone on the street, hi, I'm Grace, virtual assistant, hi. No, but of course you use your own common knowledge to know that this is a good place to introduce myself. For example, you are at a wedding launch. They've asked everybody to introduce themselves. You stand up. Don't just say, hi, I'm Grace, and sit down. That is bad, and you're selling yourself short. Stand up and say, hi, I'm Grace, and then talk about what you do briefly. You'll be so shocked. Someone might be there needing that service, or know somebody that needs that service, or something like that. So be very vocal. I hope I've answered that.
I think you did. That was, I think you answered that question quite well. Thank you. Um, any more questions? Any more questions for Grace? Any more questions for Alan? If not, if you guys are thinking while you think, Alan, I have a question for you. I heard, for example, Grace mention like other platforms like Fiverr and Upwork. Where does ProGigFinder fit in the market? Is it the same thing? Is there any difference? Um, what is ProGigFinder and how does it stand out when it comes to the other, remote work platforms or the other freelancing platforms?
Thank you very much, Brittany. That's actually a very good question. So when we were coming up with the platform ProGigFinder, we realized this platform addressed needs for people outside the African continent. So most especially, you find like on platforms like Upwork, there are like needs and jobs and opportunities mostly for people outside Africa. And we wanted to create something that identifies with us as Africans and something that can help us project the African talent inside Africa, but also outside Africa. And also, the special thing about ProGigFinder, it gives you the opportunity for people who are outside the white collar space. So you find like on platforms like Upwork, there are jobs for assistants, for people in coding, data science, and all that. But here on ProGigFinder, we even go down to the Montwawansi to give them the opportunity to now also feature on a platform like ProGigFinder, a person like a plumber, a person like an electrician, a person like a mechanic. You won't find a mechanic on Upwork, but you can find a mechanic on ProGigFinder. So these are some of the things, the unique qualities that we are bringing into the market space to bring the future of work. Like I mentioned at the beginning, for the people who aren't around, ProGigFinder is the future of work. We are trying to make everyone a boss for themselves, but even when you have like the smallest skills, I think you think that is small, on ProGigFinder, you can provide and offer that skill as something that can help you earn money. I hope this answers the question. And if there are more questions, I'm ready and fired up to answer all the questions about ProGigFinder.
You're ready to start talking. No, you can't stop. Okay, Rachel, I saw your mic. I don't know if you wanted to say something. Do we have any more questions? Okay, while you guys maybe are still thinking, I just want to also say that Alan is sending oh, there's one more. Okay, from Albert. So Albert is asking, I would like to know about what the pricing for the value we offer. I would like to know about the pricing for the value we offer. You said that we do not need to overprice or underprice. How best can I know the best price to ask? And if by any chance I have bargained with a client to provide my skill and midway the service, I realize that I asked for a low price, what is the way forward? This is a really, really, really good question, actually. Grace?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good question. This takes us back to market research. As you do your research, you can see what clients are offering for such positions. For example, when you check ProGigFinder or Upwork, you can see the specific prices that people are offering for those services. So you can use those to benchmark, not to copy, but to benchmark, right? Also, always price what you feel comfortable taking home at the end of the day. And he has said, if midway I realize I charged too low, just take that as a lesson. Just take that as a lesson, because it will be now very bad to go back to your client and ask for more money. Just take that as a lesson, and then you can do better on your next client. But yeah, just conduct some research, go to some job boards and see what are clients offering for this service, what's the range, and then you can pick a price within that range.
Can I add something on top of that? For the people maybe who weren't here at the beginning, I mentioned something about Center AI. And at ProGigFinder, we realized a lot of people have the skills, but they don't know how much to charge for the skills, or they have the services, but they don't know how much to charge for the services. So we introduced Center AI, and Center AI is basically your pricing assistant, something to help you know what to charge for your clients. So for example, in the meantime, as Grace was sharing with us about the virtual assistant, I went to Center AI. This is in ProGigFinder, by the way. You can find it on the mobile application of Google Play Store and also on the web. I went to Center AI and told it, hey, how much can I charge for being a virtual assistant in Uganda? And Center AI told me to determine this, I would need more information to know your experience, what specific tasks you offer, and all that. So quickly I told it that I'm in Kampala, and told me, great to know, in Kampala, based on ProGigFinder data in Kampala, virtual assistant typically charge between 30,000 to 100,000 per hour. So this is also an avenue for you to help you kind of do market research. It might not be conclusive, but you have like a range and somewhere to start from. So like Grace mentioned, you can always do market research, but actually within our platform, we even try to make it easy for you to ease such things like knowing how much you can charge. Or for example, someone has offered you a gig and you don't know if the price is fair or not fair. You can come and also with the research that we have and the data we have, help you know the price. It might not be conclusive, but it can give you like a rough picture for that. Thank you.
Yeah, Center AI is super, super useful. So thank you for sharing that again, Alan. And Grace, you're the expert here, so I'm hoping that it was accurate, the pricing.
It
So
was actually accurate.
okay,
Because
okay. So
30,000 to 100,000, that's like nine to it's like $9 to like 12
mm-hmm.
per hour, which is good for a starter.
Muy bien. So
Yeah.
we know that Center AI works, verified here on the webinar. Okay, so we have another question from Brenda, but before I ask the question, I want to highlight that Alan has been sending a form in the chat, help us co-create the future of work. So as I said earlier, that at ProGigFinder, we believe in co-creation. So we believe in asking our users or potential users to help us tailor the platform to specifically what you need. And this form is specifically about gig posting. So if you have some time and you want to check out ProGigFinder, or you have checked out ProGigFinder and you want to give us some feedback, you can utilize this form to do so. So just to let you know, and Alan has sent it again. Perfect. Thank you. And then Brenda asked, this is to Grace, who are virtual assistants? Like, what exactly do they do? Kindly give me a scenario as an example. I'm new to this.
All right. Thank you so much for that question. A virtual assistant, think is like how you would see a traditional in-office assistant, but the only difference is this person is working from the comfort of their home or remotely, wherever they are, right? And usually they're offering skills like administration, technical, creative assistance, even personal assistance. I've had clients where they ask you to do some research about schools for their kids. So you're just assisting someone, like how you would be a PA to someone, but this time you're not together physically. You're just doing it remotely, wherever you are. And VAs do so many things. I've mentioned admin support, uh, creative work, even social media, client support, customer service. For example, if I am picking calls on behalf of somebody, I'm their virtual assistant. If I am even social media correspondence can also be put under VA. So basically, what a PA would be doing, or an in-office assistant, but this time they're just doing it remotely.
Okay, thank you for the explanation. We have one more question, and I think this question is for both of you, both Alan and Grace. So it says, I have completed various gigs in different Reddit communities. Currently, I work full-time in GPS installation, basic data analytics, and Excel. Additionally, I have some experience in writing. How can I conduct a skills inventory? Also, how can I turn this into a side hustle?
Let Alan go first.
All right. Jonathan, this is a very good question. How can you turn all these skills into a skills inventory? First things first, I'll refer to what Grace shared within the presentation. Amongst all these, what is your strong point? What do you do best? Out of this, once you know what you do best, this will help you to have an anchor of where to start from. Otherwise, if you're very good at GPS installation, but data analytics, it's quite basic and Excel, then maybe data analytics is not your strong point. So you cannot start with data analytics. So you have to first know, out of all these skills, what is the one where like your strength is. After identifying this, then you go now within, for example, in our platform ProGigFinder, you provide your skills and mention that in this, maybe you're intermediate, in this, you're skilled, in this, you're an expert. And out of that, also the self-analysis, like we learned in the presentation, this will help you to know how can you rate these skills? So if you're very good, you've decided that you're very good in data analytics based on the analysis that you've made. Now data analytics should be like, let's say you bio, I'm a skilled data analytics with so and so years of experience, and I'm able to bring this kind of value to your company. After knowing this, then these other skills can work as a backing to the main skill that you've identified. And this is how you can turn it into a side hustle. You can come to a platform like ProGigFinder, and if there are some gigs that are about the skill that you've identified that you can provide, you can apply for the skills. And if someone selects you, you provide the skill and build your portfolio slowly by slowly until now you've become an expert within that field.
Yeah. And additionally, I'll add and create a profile as well. So just in case people are just looking for somebody with your skills, they can go ahead and contact you directly without you having to apply for for a gig. So creating a profile is also, a part of it. And then Grace, you can.
Thank you so much for your response, Alan and Britton. And I think you've pretty much covered it. And I'll just re-echo. Always lean to what comes easy to you. I mean, I also like to think that I'm a woman of very many talents, but when you, again, you have too many skills that are spread across, you spread yourself too thin. For example, you cannot be doing GPS installations and also trying to write blogs and articles and what. So in all that docket of skills that you have, ask yourself, what comes the most easy to me? You can also ask for feedback, like I've mentioned in the presentation, ask other people. And from that, you easily identify what you can go with.
Okay, I see two more questions. So, does ProGigFinder provide tutorials for virtual assistants? If not, where can I find them? I think this is a question for Grace, but also it could be a question for Alan with potential collaborations maybe in the future, who knows? But Grace, you can go ahead and say, for example, if you yourself offer, tutorials or so forth for virtual assistants.
I do not have tutorials that I offer yet, but I'm working on a crash course for virtual assistants. But like I said, the internet is a friend. Friends, everything I know, okay, if not most of it, I learned from the internet and for free. There's courses, there's paid courses, there's also free courses on platforms like Allison, Coursera, Udemy, LinkedIn Learning, there is a lot of knowledge that you can utilize. Go to YouTube. Everything you want to learn is on YouTube and on the internet somewhere.
Just also to add, within ProGigFinder, we're also looking into in the future. This is not at this moment. In the future, also integrating like a learning platform for the on-demand skills, most especially that appeal to our African community. Integrating learning, just like Grace mentioned, LinkedIn Learning, but such a platform inside ProGigFinder that can help you learn. And once it's launched, we shall be here also to tell you to check it out. And hopefully you'll be able to use it for free, because for us, our goal is to make sure we at ProGigFinder, we provide these skills to you, not at a cost, but also to help you grow and become bosses for yourselves.
Okay. And then we have one more question. It says from Dramani. It says, I have worked for the last 9 months remotely because of my health problems, which could not allow me to continue with my work as a purchasing manager in one of the prominent hotels in the country. I am feeling beyond amazement for the ProGig Finder because it's where the world is heading to, and besides doing it from the comfort of your home. Thank you for your kind words, Dramani. It's not a question, but here I'm seeing comments like this is really encouraging. And our main goal is to provide equal and inclusive economic opportunity for all. So, for example, you had an issue, and that should not, stop you from, getting access to, income streams. So, our goal is to provide equal and inclusive economic opportunity. So thank you so much for your comments. And also, if you have any suggestions for how we can more like tailor our platform to better suit, for example, remote workers or whatever it is that you need, you can go ahead and send us an email, contact us directly. Also fill out the survey that Alan has been sending in the group. Thank you so much for your kind words. If there are any more, questions, we've gone 30 minutes beyond time, but it was so interesting. I've been enjoying listening to Grace. I've been enjoying your questions. I've been enjoying listening to Alan. What I will do is I'm going to send one last survey. Oh, sorry, I joined in late. Did you mention you have an app for the ProGig Finder? Perhaps you can share the links to it. Sure. Alan, if you could go ahead and share the ProGig Finder website, and the Android app on Play Store. And I'm saying that I'm going to share one more link in the chat, specifically for, as Alan mentioned, we believe it's a part of our social, responsibility to have these webinars, potentially future trainings for specific areas. So I'm going to put a survey in the chat. And if you have any, suggestions on future topics for the webinar, or, future guest speakers to, that who we could invite, please feel free to share and give your feedback on the webinar, because we want to keep improving this. We plan on having it on a monthly basis. So we're just planning to grow from here. Thank you for staying so long. We've gone 32 minutes, but it has been really engaging. I've enjoyed all your questions. Thank you, Grace, for dropping all the gems. I took notes. Again, I'll say it was a really good presentation, and thank you, Alan, for sharing details on ProGigFinder. Now I already have a profile. Now I'll improve it based on what Grace has said. And we continue. Thanks again, and I think we should close now. So yeah, bye, and see you next month in our webinar.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.